Hello, everybody. Welcome to the last episode of My Mom Saved Everything. I'm just going to plow through all these. This is mostly stuff from my college years. A lot of these are just going to be doodling while I was taking notes on other things. So there's some doodles. Most of these I'm not going to save. There's Blobby the Blob, which is a game that my friend Josh Bilodeau made. It's lots and lots of sketches. Hip Hop Lords of Arabia logo. Oh, this is way before college. This is something much older. Professor Layton style puzzles, but this is way before Professor Layton. Really old stuff that I would sketch. Some more Duck and Bunny stuff. This is something that I decided after I drew it was very stupid. Thingamabob Man. There you go. Hi, I'm Thingamabob Man. Used to look like that. Now I look like this. Grr, I'm scary. Okay. This is probably influenced by watching the movie Dark Man, where, he had sort of a, messed up face, but he had a mask. Hey, they spelled my name wrong. Oh, it's Tingabob Man, but it's spelled wrong. Okay. Hey, spelled wrong. They spelled they wrong. If you're going to spell everything I say wrong, then I'm not talking. The Whiz guy spelled two wrong. They spelled Y's wrong. Who's writing this comic? That idiot I'm ended this comics. I think my older brother drew this Thingamabob Man. So this is like a werewolf type character. There was this card game called Rage, and so I was thinking a lot about werewolves at the time. I don't know who this duck is. I don't remember who this duck is. Obviously, this is influenced by Two-Face. Batman animated series is where I first learned of the character, but yeah. Had this duck that had like one evil face and one happy sign. Yeah, happy mean duck. He's at war, and then there's a mine, blows up, and he wakes up, and one side of his face is messed up. To be continued. I don't know. Duck and Bunny stuff. There's Wooga Wooga Man. The Duck and Bunny Show. Wally's Pet Tips. Tip 1. Feed your animal only once a day unless its name is Wally and is a wiener dog. Bad. Good. So he gets lots of food. Tip 2. Find a tree for your dog to wee-wee on unless his name is Wally and is a wiener dog. Bad. Good. He gets a toilet. Don't take your dog on trips or he won't understand when he can't go on the trip unless his name is Wally and is a wiener dog. Bad. Good. So don't go to the kennel. Go on the trip. Tip 4. Don't give your dog something when he begs for it unless his name is Wally and is a wiener dog. Bad. Give me food. No. Bad. Give me food. Step 2. I'm hurt. I don't know. Also bad. Okay. This is, I think, my younger brother Kirk, because he had kind of very large curly hair. And he's so scared his jaw dropped and actually broke through the road and is down in the sewer where there's some workers where one worker got smothered by his dropping jaw. So, yeah, that's what that is. I don't remember who that character is. I scribbled and then kind of converted into what I thought it looked like. And it's like a genie. He's scared and his jaw drops, but his tongue was out and then happens to be touching his butt. And this is my younger brother again. That's me, I think. Face features. I think I was trying to get better at drawing. I never did. Hey, there's Thingamabob Man again. There's Guile and my brother. Hey, another board game. So I think I was finding really weird words in the dictionary. D is for denigration. Bean Man's enemy was Crockpot Man, who is going to cook him. There's him escaping from Crockpot Man. You can see on his back he has a little pouch with extra beans that he can throw as a weapon. These are I was interested in some Dick Tracy villains at the time, and so I was making characters like that. The Fantastic Six. So there's these 6 different ants. Kung Fu Ant, Army Ant, Giant Ant, Mute Ant, Pilot Ant, and Pet Ant, who's like a dog. Tom Worps was an unsung hero. He was kind and let anybody who was tired or hungry rest in his teepee. Here's the Fantastic Six comic. Hi, I'm July. In the Ninja Turtles, there's a reporter named April. If you want July, come back and get her. We got to get our suits on and save July. Her. Ha, woof. And then number 2, what he says. So he says, are you guys ready? And then somebody else says, yeah. Fantastic Six, roll call. Army ant. Kung Fu ant. These too tall to fit in the frame, so like that's actually an intentional joke. But yeah, it continues over here where you can see his head. Pilot ant, mute ant, and pet ant. Woof. Let's go. Woof. 5 hours later. We made it. Now let's get going. Okay, where is she? There. Ah, they're all scared. So one of them's so scared he accidentally unpins and throws a grenade, which goes into the mouth of Giant. He says, burp, oops, and then he explodes. What were we screaming at? Oh, yeah. Because they're ants, right? They're the size of ants, but the news reporter is the size of a human. So, phew, I finally escaped, and the shoe splat comes down and on Army Ant. It says, we should grow like the childish super samurai tortoises did. And I ended up okay, so that's her reporting, and then there's one of the ants, probably Giant, saying ow with a broken arm. When we would do tabletop gaming sessions, I would take notes as we went in the form of these little comics. And so at the end of a gaming session, we would have this like leftover comic of all the things that we did. So random sentence generation. I made this in high school. Is this worth some extra credit? And then my teacher says, you're a fine dresser. How's that for extra credit? So yeah, I was doing some chat GPT shit way back in high school. I mean, obviously it wasn't that sophisticated. So some examples. Kirkenstein's dog destroyed Angelica, who was puny, below Mr. Foolproof, and a proper armadillo intimidated a parrot's wrist. A puny dragon and Jeepus quickly nuked Eric's monkeyish neon cheek. So this is the evil physics monkey, who was a character created by our physics teacher in college. So in college, we would make like these comics about like just daily life things that were happening. Not a great joke, but that's the humor we had back then. Now I can go through these more quickly. Jefferson Forest High School. The all-purpose entertainer juggling Jeep. Magic, balloons, clubs, balls, bags, devil sticks, call, and then a phone number. I don't think I ever got any leads from that ad. Robot. The only thing I knew about snowmen with buckets on their heads was there's a game called Balloon Kid was based on Balloon Fight, and they had snowmen with buckets on their head. I didn't know that was a Japanese thing at the time. I knew it from that one game. I guess these are different characters. The face, eyes, nose man, the mouth, arm boy, the spine, foot man, hair guy. Together, the body. So it's like a Voltron but with body. Arachnophobia. And I have Little Miss Muffet. Character getting very, very scared of a spider. Oh, his skin all ran away over here. And then there's a dog who has taken what's remaining of his arm. Ways to freak out. Long eyes, long tongue, long chin, long hair, big eyes, popped off eyes, strong eyes, big mouth, big head, long neck. Mixed freak. Super freak. Probably from Ren and Stimpy type era. Oh, this might be the origin of Bean Man. Bean truck drives on the road, not knowing that it will change the future, not knowing its destiny that will save many lives, not knowing its purpose. And there's like a little corkscrew where a guy is like drilling into the side of the bean truck. Bean stew. I got good eating tonight. And then the guy steals some beans from the hole, but some beans fall out off of the truck and into some nuclear waste that's leaking out of a cooling silo at a nuclear reactor. A hole in the nuclear power plant, and some beans fall into the nuclear waste, and they start radiating. Radiation makes the beans grow and hook together, which forms Bean Man. And there he is. Hi, and he's very tiny and on a table. Cool. Then he started to grow again. I could be a superhero. I have weapons. And he throws some beans that spot on the wall. Now I need an enemy. And there's another truck with crockpots where the door has opened and a crockpot is bouncing into the nuclear waste. Maybe I should be someone's arch enemy. And so they're walking along the road and act just in opposite directions coincidentally and bump into each other. Sorry. And he says, crockpot, hee 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 hee. And so then the crockpot like jumps at him and he lands. But then Bean Man like pushes his way out and gets out of the crockpot. And then throws some beans at him in like this little action shot. And they splat on him. And he says, Ah, a growing bean that happened to fly into his mouth. Crockpot Man looking very sad as the bean grows inside of him and then finally explodes. And Crockpot Man is in pieces, and Bean Man says, yes. But later, the pieces are joined back together and say, hee 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 ha ha. I'll be back, Bean Man. Hee hee, the end. Plush Bowser doll. Bowser poses atop my desk like an intrinsic fashion model from a magazine ad. His soft polyester skin ripples like a newly tilled field and glows with the lush palette of an autumn sunset. Tiny slender spikes are fixed to the bulky protective shell on his back. Bleach white triangular claws grow from his powerful hands and feet. A mohawk of fiery red hair separates the curved golden horns that sprout from each side of his enormous head. A razor-toothed grin curls across his pudgy cheeks as foul lo-fi roars emanate, because he had you could squeeze him and he would make a sound, emanate from his thick striped belly. His piercing stare tears through my flesh like a metal slug and explodes through the wall behind me like a tweaked-out Kool-Aid man, hell-bent on spooking an unsuspecting crowd of schoolchildren. He surveys his domain like a leashed watchdog and schemes to resume its rule the minute I leave. Good job, eh? What is this? I don't know. Working in an apple plant was the worst job I ever had. This is literally a job that I had. First of all, the work was physically hard for 10 hours a night. I took cartons that rolled down a metal rack and stacked them onto wooden skids in a tractor trailer. Each carton contained 12 32-ounce cans or bottles of apple juice, and they were heavy. The second bad feature of the job was the pay. I was getting minimum wage at the time, $2 an hour, plus the minimum of a quarter extra for working the night shift. Even after working over 60 hours a week, I still did not take home much more than $100. The worst feature of the apple plant job was the working conditions. During work, we were limited to 2 10-minute breaks and an unpaid half hour for lunch. Most of my time was spent outside on the truck loading dock in near 0-degree temperatures, and I was very lonely on the job. Since I had no interest in common with the other truck loaders, I felt this isolation, especially when the production line was shut down for the night, and I worked by myself for 2 hours cleaning the apple vats. The vats were an ugly place to be on a cold morning, and the job was a bitter one to have. All true. A winner is you, of one of my friends, Elliot Davis, who now lives in Japan. One day he had a cold, and instead of having a tissue box with him, he had a roll of toilet paper with him, which in hindsight was very practical and a great idea, but at the time I never considered that before. And so I just thought it was funny how he was carrying around toilet paper with him, because I didn't actually know that he had a cold until I asked him about it later. But I drew this picture of him holding toilet paper. It's the ugly duckling. Donut holes are very similar foods. They're both made from the same type of cake dough and fried in fat. Toppings that combine well with donuts combine equally well with donut holes. Coffee is a perfect dunking drink for both. Donut hole even has the word donut as part of its name. Their subtle differences in shape and size in no way overshadow their striking togetherness, and therefore I conclude that $1 extra for the same net weight of donut holes is a ripoff. This is kind of this weird sketching style that I used to use and would have a lot of fun with. I made a maze where the doodlies, they start here and they're trying to get USA in the finish. And then for the answer, pull out this thing. Oh, I see. When you pull it out, if you shine a light through it, I don't know if it's possible to see on camera, but there's actually a highlighted thing behind it where it's now visible. You can see the path. And this would just hide that path until you pulled it out. It's kind of clever. The doodlies. Okay. Mr. Doodly, Mrs. Doodly, Kid Doodly. Hi. Hello. I'm home. How'd work go? I didn't make much money. Okay, and there's this star, and everything says spoken in German but translated to English, so they're German. I went to a wonderful... Mommy! What's for dinner? Can't you see that me and your father are having a conversation? Anyway, I went to a seminar led by Will Penn. I don't know who Will Penn is. Nobody wants to buy underwear anymore. Sigh. How was your day? Okay. He talked about the new world and the many job opportunities and the high underwear demand. He's having another tonight. Maybe you should go. I'd like to go, but but don't be packing any bags yet. The next day. Guess what? We're moving to the new world. I knew you would like the seminar. What? What about my friends and my house? And so this is like an assignment about immigration to America. We're not moving this minute. We're waiting a few weeks. But it will be hard to move with so many new customs and languages. You could see a psychiatrist to help you, kid doodle. Mom, I'm not a loony. I think the whole family should go see a psychiatrist. My best friend, Dr. Squiggle, is a great psychiatrist. I'll call him right now. But Mom, beep, 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 ring. Hello. This is Miss Dooley speaking. I wonder if I could make an appointment for 3 at 2 o'clock tomorrow. That would be fine. Thank you. Click. Okay. Very next day, 2 p.m. Where is the doctor's office? Hello, Dr. Squiggle. Hello. Would you like to be examined first? Who would like to be examined first? And they'll say nothing. How about you, Kid Doodly goes first? How about Kid Doodly goes first? Okay, late that night. The doctor said he was moving to the new world in a week. I think the family should move with him. That's a good idea. I don't want to move. If you move, I'm staying. 1 week later. So the luggage on top of a cart being pulled by a horse. And he's like, I can't believe this. And they're all on the cart. 3 weeks later, we made it to the harbor. And so then they're getting on the boat. 3 storms and 6 months later. Land ho! And that's Mr. Squiggle up on the mast of the ship. We made it. Maybe it won't be so bad. Hello, I'm home. Oh, 3 days later. How did work go? Great. Okay, and the parenthesis is spoken in English, so they're using some English words, but mostly speaking in German. Great. I made lots of money under where demand is huge. Maybe this place isn't so bad. The end. Okay. And then there's a Doodly song to the tune of the Beverly Hillbillies. They used to live in Germany, but now that all has changed, they got all their positions and moved to the USA. Not because religion or because it was very cold. They did it because living poor was getting old. The dad said, we're moving, and the kid jumped in the air. They moved with Dr. Squiggle, and we're finally there. This is an old news article that I got, I think at E3 or maybe GDC. I don't remember. It was talking about Samsung Electronics enters the business center to invest in Ragnarok, which was a game that we were obsessed with at the time. I think we were already playing Ragnarok, but it could have happened after I saw this. So then, Korea, a country of strong game media industry with 4 representative game broadcast companies. So then this whole thing is about Korea being strong, leading game development. There's a huge ad for Ragnarok. Talking about Lineage, Korea's #1 online game. I was very inspired when I read this of like, wow, Korea seems like a place where I might end up in the game industry. There's another character called Hwamsbach, the supersonic alien. And it's sort of course, inspired by Predator. That I'd seen back then, and like here's his helmet with all these cool little gadgets, and here's like the weapons he uses with all these cool little things, and there's his utility belt, which happens to include an alien toy, I guess in case he gets bored and wants to have fun. He has a laser sword, and some tear gas, and a hook shot, which is from Legend of Zelda, invisibility arm strap, which is of course from Predator, jetpack, which is probably from Rocketeer, arm claw, I don't know what that's from, maybe from Predator, but high volume shatterer. So you use this like you break windows in a store or something. Anyway, some Street Fighter characters. There's Barney the Dinosaur, who I was not a fan of at the time. This is from the game EVO, The Search for Eden on Super Nintendo. So I took a lot of like detailed notes on exactly what all the different upgrades did and how much they cost, and I was like sort of making like this guide on how to play the game. I think I was making my own Picross because I was really into Mario's Picross. Here's yet another character, I don't know. I think this is also Quamsbach, but I like simplified his design significantly. Here again, this is EVO. I sort of rewrote all the information in a more clear way, including like drawings of like the different body parts that you would get. So body, hands, feet, dorsal fin, tail, and like sort of comparing the stats of all the different things. I don't know who that is, but it's a robot I drew. Credits: over, during scene, no sound. Start song, Hot Rod Monster Jam, which is a song that I liked. You Can't Stop the Bum Rush, Len. So that's the song. Camera moves slowly, constantly moving along the floor. Starting point, school bell rings. Opens door, people's shoes randomly walk in and past the camera. Camera follows, big expensive basketball shoes. Camera moves up to scowling face. It's Jason Wooford. Past chain, extra long black leather belt, and punk necklace. Camera jump to starting point. This is like a screenplay I was writing for some reason. I don't know. It says, just because you come a young man now, there's still some things that we don't understand now. Okay, so what this is a music video for that song, Hot Rod Monster Jam by Len, on the album You Can't Stop the Bum Rush. And so I was like, I had this whole idea for like how to make a music video for that thing. Hey, it's me. I'm on the baseball team known as the McDonald's. This is Digipin's Dean Page, and Matt Sherrill, and Daniel Page. A lot of doodling. Hey, it's Mephisto, Demon Frog from Hell. This is a shanty that we wrote for music club at Digipin. Sailing the seas and we'll steal away old memories of plundering days. So this is the Keeping It Real Award that we presented to Dustin Asby for outstanding excellence of keeping it real and radiating reality to others. Signed by both me and Joshua Billittle. And he got the Eternal Flame of Happiness and this official seal of Keeping It Real. So it was a very, very high honor that we bestowed upon Dustin that day. This summer I plan to move to Washington. A stupid way to waste a summer, but that is all. State? It's a beautiful place. It won't be the same here at LHS without you. Maybe I'll adopt you so you won't have to go, but if not, your humor will be sorely missed. Like a weird owl thing. I think this was supposed to be a Digipin mascot, maybe. XOR. Yeah, I think we thought this would be like a cool band name or something. There's Link and the Moblin and an Octorok and a Ghost and a Darknut and a Lever and Ganon. It's so hard to explain. Hey, there she is again. Hybrid shirt. Yeah, so she had this shirt that said hybrid on it. And Dr. Claw. So I had a teacher named Dr. Clawson, and the evil physics monkey again. Again, that's that sort of style I was doing at the time. It was like zip disks and hard drives and RAM and a cheese wedge. This is one of my favorite teachers, Mr. Earhart, who sadly he died of a heart attack like a long time ago now at this point, but one of my best teachers ever. It's Blobby the Blob, who's moving from the ceiling to the floor. And then also a butt, like pooping into a toilet. Hey, there's one of my math professors. Writing about music is like dancing about architecture. So yeah, here's a guy dancing about architecture. Ooh, yeah. Do the Gothic from the Byzantine area. This is from a game that I do have like some notes about on my website. This is Homemaker Susie 2. It's like a shooter game. Anyway, this was some ideas for the weapons and how they would combine together. There's Mr. Sherrill, Matt Sherrill as a genie. Here's more weapon ideas for Homemaker Susie. And there's some boss ideas. There's a robot called Pants. Mr. Folsom. Because we called him Wholesome Folsom. But he wasn't always so wholesome. And there's a picture of him at like a wild party. This is again from our RPG. Again, it's hard to understand without context, but basically there's like all these things happening with zombies. I didn't draw this. This is a picture of me. There's another picture that somebody drew of me playing bass guitar. This letter is being sent to you to let you know that we have received a noise concern from several of your neighbors. The noise seems to be coming from playing video games containing loud gunfire and explosives. It includes music, TV, video games, and voices. The purpose of this letter is to make you aware of the problem in hopes that we can resolve the issue. Liquid Monkey Software. It's a good logo. I think I drew that one. Like a giraffe and a robot and a car and an eyeball. Guy with a big cannon or something. Some things. That's Wholesome Folsom again there. This is the urban legend that me and Dave Karcher created together. It is in Digipen, sometimes you'll hear the ghost of a trumpet player being strangled. Because one time a trumpet player got strangled and died, and his ghost was still roaming the halls of Digipen, and you would hear his strangled trumpet. It's like Zoro and Kabuki Quantum Fighter and Paul from Tekken. Oh, it's Darkman. That's cool. Yeah, I was a big fan of Darkman and Zoro. And it's the Doodly and Streetcar Thump. Cool logo thing. Exaggerated Walk. I think I drew most of these. This is, and so I made here's a list of all the supplies we need to make a costume for Bub and Bob. But I never ended up making that costume. It was just an idea. This is me trying to learn more about drawing and not doing very well. Recently, we've noticed there are a large number of cigarette butts outside your apartment that surround flower beds, which is an unsightly mess and a potential fire hazard. We are unsure who is doing this, but would like you to all be aware. If for some reason this is you, we would ask that you dispose of your cigarette butts in another way. So this is when my younger brother moved in, and he was smoking at the time. He's since quit. He's the evil physics monkey. Life was full of debt. Had trouble with my wife. Thought I'd pick up sailing to ease the pains of life. They wanted able men. I told them a lie. So they stuck me in the crow's nest. I have to climb real high. So this was a different sea shanty that we never recorded because it was bad. This is Mr. Cheryl's hot date. Mr. Cheryl likes to go on dates. I'm Mr. Cheryl. Yeah. I like to go on dates. Mr. Cheryl gets clean and sings in the shower. Mr. Cheryl combs his hair. Mr. Cheryl picks out his belly button lint. Mr. Cheryl is always ready for a date. Shing. But Mr. Cheryl has not had any fun on his past few dates. He dated a blonde, and they go to the Ultra roller coaster. But she was too short. It must be this tall to ride. He dated a goth chick at Club Blood, but she was too cheerful. I think that's supposed to be sarcastic. He dated an escort, but she was a man. Zip, he runs up. Today, Mr. Cheryl has another date. He hopes his luck will change and that he will have a hot date. I will have a hot date. It's time to try a new style. I took over the comic from there. We were like, Josh did the first part, I did the second part, and then we had other people do the other parts. So here's my part where he's meeting his new date, and he says, "Wow, how are you? Okay, let's go on our hot date. Okay." As the cat says, "Meow." They went clubbing. I like clubbing. Okay. Your food has good smell. Okay. And then there's the cat sleeping. He says, "Meow." They ate food. They popped balloons. Let's do this all night. Okay. But then they ran out of balloons. Pop. And Matt's pants fell off. You can see the cat grabbing them. Okay. And the cat ran with them very far. And you see the cat running with the pants. And then the date was over, and Mr. Cheryl plugged her back into the wall. The end. Maybe Kim Swifter this last panel, but I'm not 100% sure. Kevin needs a new chair. Kevin had a chair. I had a chair. Then one day, Josh used Kevin's chair. I want to play Counter-Strike. Bam! Kevin's chair broke. This is drawn by Josh Bilodeau. Kevin needs a new chair. I'm fat. I think Kim maybe drew this, but I'm not 100% sure. So Kevin started thinking, ow, this hurts. He came up with an idea. Aha! And so Kevin started his epic journey to find a new chair. A journey that didn't leave his living room. There's got to be something I can use as a new chair in here. Then I drew this section. The couch was soft and nice, but it was home to a monkey family. She found a chair with wheels, but stairs weren't fun. The pogo stick was fun, but it wasn't a chair. The monkey told Kevin an idea. We should fix the chair. How? Josh has a fix-it ray. Eat Ray thought. The chair was fixed. Everybody was happy. We told Kevin to draw the last panel for his comic, and he says, I like my chair. This Jab, the letterhead company that I did in like middle school, the official dog of Jab, who is the dog of Andy. So this is Jeep Andy Brandon. Jab letterheads are a fun way to personalize any letter you want. For a very low price, Jab will perform almost any computer-based project provided the customer pays. Please look at the following pages to see more on Jab. And so then we have these pages that are like, hey, I bet you always wanted to have letterhead on your notebook paper, but you always made excuses to yourself of reasons not to, such as, I don't have enough fonts, a color printer, or enough time. Get professional style letterheads with over 59 fonts, 15 colors, 2 choices of paper, and thousands of different pictures, including scans, JPEGs, bitmaps, pics. Anyway, now's your chance to fulfill your lifelong dream to have letterhead on notebook paper. Only 1 cent for every 2 letters. Give us pictures on a disc, scannable sheet, or we'll draw them ourselves. See Andy Koch, Jeep Barnett, or Brandon King for complete pricing details. So then, Windy Girl, this is the official dog of Jab. Windy was the dog's name. So Windy made her own ad that says, I bet you would just love to have a letterhead with your own name on it, and I bet you would love to have your favorite picture on it. Well, today is your lucky day. Jab Letterhead Incorporated has got all the stuff to make that custom letterhead you've been dreaming about. Just contact one of the Jab executives and your dream will come true. Sincerely, Windy Girl. And then here's these other ads. I'm not going to read every single one. We would just like these little flyers and we'd like paste them up around the school and like get people to be interested in having us print on their notebook paper. We actually did end up with a few customers. Pink. Jab now has pink paper, but this once-in-a-lifetime offer is only for a limited time, so hurry. Get your orders in before someone takes all the pink. And then there's another kind of paper that has like wheat and whatever. And then there's another ad. There's another ad. Spice up that letter to your lover with a Jab letterhead at the top. Jab Spices. Letterhead Incorporated, quality letterheads. Please buy Jab letterheads. If you think I'm cute, you can even put my picture on a letterhead. There's a cow that says Jab. And then no time to get Jab. Bon appetit. So this is Julia Childs with Windy Girl saying some stuff. And then there's another thing. And then here's some like 3D objects. Hi, I'm Mr. Bulb. I just had a bright idea. If you buy products from Jab, then I will save myself a lot of time and trouble. And there's a lamp, and then there's a lightning bolt. I don't know. Can't explain these things sometimes. So there's an example of letterhead. There's Julia Childs and my name Jeep at the top. And then, so these are just some examples. So like, you can see some examples of what you might put at the top of your paper. Great for homework, school work, reports, letters, love letters, and more. And then here's like a list of all the fonts. So people could look through, here's all the possible fonts. So at the time we were like downloading like so many different cool fonts. We found like a website that had lots of good fonts and like, yeah, so had all these fonts that I just had access to. And then like, here's like how you could style the text, like with your curves and stuff, and shadows and patterns. And there's the pricing sheet. So like based on like the type of paper. And we could print, we also printed on shirts, I guess. I don't think we ever ended up doing that, but yeah, pink paper was 10 cents. And then like, we had a prize pack, I guess, where people could win some of these things. We had some old videos and stuff that we were giving out. Angels in the Outfield movie. So we just happened to have it and we were giving out those prizes. I don't know. And then I have like, here's the order form where we've taken some orders. I think we did more than 3 orders. This was like the second sheet that, or maybe later that we had gotten to, we'd fill the full sheet. So some people are saying what they wanted. And this guy paid $12.53 for some letterheads. So that's cool. And permission slip. And then we have Julia Childs here. And then this is an old Wendy's ad. I'm gonna save this. I don't feel like saving anything else except for this, which is silly. But I had this Eat a Pita by David Thomas, founder of Wendy's, where we just went into Paint and we just blocked out all the text. And then we made a parody version where he says, "Yo, yo, Dave, my man, what's shaking? My rocks, want to see them? What's the big deal? I like to pretend I'm building a house. Why is that pita stuck on the wall? Oh, it's been there for years. Dave, look at what I found in the trash this morning. Wow, I bet these would taste good on a pita. I blew snot rocket in this one. Wow, I love snot rockets. Hey, take all you want. It being sinus season and all. Wendy's fresh stuffed pitas." Maybe I won't save this. I just thought it was funny. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to save any of the jab stuff. Sorry, I just can't. Incredible Memories, maker of 500 megabytes. It's amazing. I don't know. What's this? I bet you wonder what Jab does with all those letterheads that are no good. Think about it. Andy's advice for a typical Monday. I will tell you on Tuesday. Feeling bad? Then stay away from me. I don't want to catch whatever you've got. Yeah, Andy made all these, so anyway. Okay. Anyway, that's actually the end now. All that stuff's going away, so anyway, everybody, thanks for sticking with this. Hope this was really not boring. Anyway, that's all. Thanks, everybody. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.